Shai, obviously, taste of adversity here tonight. What's your expectation of how this team will respond to tonight?
Yeah. It should be good. It should be fun. We're going to find out what we're made of, what we're really made of. And we couldn't expect it to be smooth sailing this whole journey. No journey in life is, and we know that. And today is a bump in the road, unexpected. No one expects to lose, especially that way, but it's the game of life, so it's about how you respond to getting knocked down, and that's what we got to do next game.
For Shai or Jalen, either one of you guys, whoever feels the play where you got broke free for the dunk with 10 seconds left, go up 3. Mm-hmm. They're out of timeouts. Jokic is out of the game. Mark explained you've been trained, you're fouling when you're up 3 and just automatic, but would have been a nice thing maybe to just play defense with Jokic on the bench. How tough is it to adjust course in the heat of the moment like that when what you maybe are supposed to do is not the best thing to do?
Yeah, that's a good point. So it's hard now because we lost, and it's going to seem like we should have did the other thing, obviously, because what we did led to a loss. But, we've been in that situation before. We fouled, and we've won the game. And tonight it didn't go in our favor. Now, it's not always going to go the way you want it, but there's analytics and there's a way we want to end the game, and I think we did it as we planned. It just didn't go our way. But yeah, we like I said, it's nothing's ever going to always go your way, and that's what happened tonight.
Jalen, as that shot at the buzzer's going up, what goes through your mind in that moment? Not only the shot.
Shot?
Yeah, your shot.
That ain't making it to the rim. I'm actually impressed to hit the glass. It was kind of like you get the shock of the 3 going in, and obviously we're out of timeouts. It's just just try and get it close to the rim and see what happens from there. That's really it.
More broadly, you guys obviously a lot will be talked about the last seconds, but you're up 14 and then find yourself in a close game. Mm-hmm. What do you guys diagnose as the whys of not being able to close out after building that kind of lead?
Rebounding.
Yeah, rebounding, execution late. We got some good looks. Probably could have got better looks, better offensive possessions. That's all I got for now. I'm sure there's other things
like a built up
when you go and watch a game.
Like you said, we're up 14, so there's a lot of stuff in the game. So it's very easy to look back at the last 15 seconds or last minute of the game. There's so many things that happen in a game that allow that to happen. So you look at rebounding, they got a couple runouts early. All that stuff adds up. I missed 2 free throws to start the game. You can just add a lot of things that go to it. But I think rebounding they got a lot of second chance opportunities and points and stuff like that.
Either one of you guys, what's your message to Chet? I know he's mad he missed the 2 free throws. What you guys tell him?
The 2 free throws don't. They would have been nice, but it's also at the same time that's not why we win or lose the game, because if they don't make that 3, we win the game. It's if I make, like I said before, if I make 2 free throws early, what's the score of the game? There's so many factors that factor into a game. That's not why we lost the game. And obviously it sucks, and it's good for character development. He'll be better for it later down the road.
And also the Minnesota game where you guys lost a 16-point lead. I mean, this is obviously bigger stakes, playoffs and everything else, but is this kind of feel a bit like that a little bit for you?
Nah, not really. The average swing in an NBA game is 13 points. Right? Yeah. The average swing is 13 points, so you can go up 13, you go down 13. That's just on normal for the playoffs. It's still right around there, so that's just kind of how basketball is. We understand that. It just didn't happen to go our way tonight.
Shai, why do you think the offense dried up for you guys down the stretch?
I'm not too sure. It's hard to reflect this fast after the game, but what it felt like, they were just doing a good job of loading the elbows on drives. They were in the passing lanes. I feel like we got a couple shots that were makeable for sure, and were pretty good looks. But there's definitely things we could be better at tactically down the stretch for sure. And I know myself, I'll look at those things and see if we can be better for next game. And I can be better for next game for them for sure.
And then, for either of you guys, obviously Joker's not your primary assignment, but he is a whole team.
It is a group effort, yeah.
Sure. 42 for him, obviously dominant on the glass as well. What can you guys do to try to, limit a guy who's obviously puts up huge numbers against everybody?
I don't want to specifically say stuff, but you just try and make good players like that work for, catches and make shots hard. And I think if we can eliminate second chance points, I think that really hurt us. You get them to miss one, and then you go foul them and give them an and one. Just plays like that add up over time. That's something that would be on the top of my head, but we'll have X's and O's and all the other stuff to do it. But a lot of that just comes from trying to make it tough. And he's a good player, so it's sometimes vice versa on this end. We're going to hit shots that are tough, and we kind of understand that. But you just try and make it as difficult as possible.
Guys, what would you say the overall mood of the team was after this one?
It sucked the first couple minutes, but after that, back to ourselves. Like I said, we didn't expect our whole run to be sunshine and rainbows, and we know that. It's about how we respond, and there's nothing we can do about what just happened. So there's no point to have our head down or be sad about it or sulk about it. All we can do is be better for the next game, and that's what we're focused on.
Jalen, you mentioned free throws earlier. What do you think that you guys could do better to improve on the glass? Rebounds.
Oh, you mean us fouling them?
No,
you getting the rebounds.
Box out, go up with two hands and grab that. Don't stand and watch. Box out again, and when you go up and you jump, make sure you grab it.
Anybody else? Go Andrew with the last one.
You guys didn't have a lot of clutch minutes during the regular season. Do you think that played to any of just the lack of execution down the stretch, or is this just one specific game?
Nah. It's easy to kind of point the finger at that, and then it's if we win, we don't even bring it up. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of one of those things where it's if we win, we can look at how we could have been better. If we lose, we do the same thing. It's just kind of one of those things. So it's obviously if we win this game, everybody's going to be oh, we fouled up 3 and this was good and our offense was great. It's kind of one of those things. But we'll get back to the drawing board and figure out what we got to do to get better and improve and do that. Obviously the series is not first to one game. So just take it one step at a time. We know we weren't going to go on this undefeated run, and this is just a bump in the road that we can recover from.
Thank you, guys.
I just barred up crazy.
Yeah, that one's acceptable.
Got you. Alex, when you look at the 48 minutes as a whole, what are some things that stand out to you as areas that you got to improve on in game 2 that prevent you from even being in a late game situation like that?
Yeah, just some execution stuff. Controllables for us. Gave up too many second chance points. Gave up too many, non-earned fouls, fouls we just kind of gave them, which allows them to set their defense and keeps us in a half-court offense. So a couple of things I think that we can do better is probably just finishing possessions. They got some really good offensive rebounders, and then showing our hands. Trying to figure out. You got to figure out and dictate. How the game's going to be called, and try and formulate a plan defensively to negotiate with that. And we didn't do a good enough job with that tonight.
AC, just what was your perspective of those last 15 seconds or so of game clock, the fouling up 3, the decisions behind that, and the sequence that sort of won them the game with AG's 3?
Yeah, so I think the first one was me on Jokic, which was maybe a quick whistle on it. I don't even know if it was really a foul compared to how the playoffs have been called recently, in the first round at least. So regardless, we wanted to foul up 3. That's a strategy that we've talked about doing. So get him to the line, then we execute. Shai makes 2 free throws. I probably could have let Gordon dribble a couple more times, run some more time off the clock before I fouled again. But at the same time, we've talked about, when in doubt, just make sure you get the foul done. And then, Chet missed a couple free throws. We were aware of time and score. They didn't have timeouts. They were going to go regardless. So we were ready. He got an outlet, and he banged in a 3 to win the game. It's kind of how it is. I don't think those last 2-3 possessions lost us the game. Obviously, we probably could have executed a little better and made free throws, and it would have been a little easier. But 5-6 minute mark down to the 1 minute mark probably could have been a lot better, and it would have not been coming down to that.
And I know you mentioned that those last few possessions probably are not the reason you lost that game, but the position Chet is put in, it feels like a heavy position for a second-year guy just to miss a couple free throws and then have to get back and see the game-winning 3 shot over him. Like, what's your sort of message to him after that?
Yeah, he's in there for a reason. He was in there game 3 when he had 25 in the second half when we had to come back against Memphis. He was in there late in the game 4 against Memphis to close out that series. We trust him. We believe in him. There's a reason that, Mark puts him out there, and I felt confident when he caught the ball to go shoot the free throws. Sometimes the ball doesn't go in and you got to try and make a play, and, what are the percentage chance of Chet missing 2 free throws and then Gordon making a contested above the break 3 for game? It probably is in our favor, and yet it didn't happen for us, right? So, again, don't think it goes to that. I think it goes to the 5 minutes before that. But, super confidence in Chet. Like, that's unwavering.
When you look at those 5 minutes before that, what do you think are the primary factors on you guys, blowing a 14-point lead?
Yeah, just those things I mentioned earlier, not finished possessions. We gave them too many free throws where they didn't have to earn it. We couple fouls here and there. You toss a coin up and see if they're fouls or not. That kind of isn't in our control. But just being able to finish possessions, because they would get either an offensive rebound and a tip in or free throws and then go set their defense. And now we're working really hard to go against their cross matching and the stuff they're doing. So kind of beating a dead horse, but like finish possessions. Don't foul.
Hey, Alex, I think Shai was asked about the team's response in Game 2, and I think he said it's going to be fun. How curious are you to see what this team is made of going into Game 2 after losing like this, after not having a lot of adversity in this fashion in the regular season?
Yeah, it's the fun part about basketball, going out there and competing. Like, that's... I really wish we would have won tonight, but, I have fun playing basketball tonight. Like, I love competing and playing basketball. Like, I want to win more than anything, and losing sucks. Giving that game away doesn't feel good. But, perspective, we're getting the chance to go play in the playoffs, Game 2 in the second round on Wednesday. Like, that's... What more can I ask for than that? I had plenty of years where I didn't even get to play in the postseason. I had to go to Miami twice and lose and go home and have a long summer. So I'm playing basketball in May. I'm excited about the opportunity.
Yeah, Alex, you guys, as expected, the bench dominated. Denver's not a deep team. Didn't work out for you in the end tonight, but how much can what you guys did as a bench, how much can that play out, do you think, the entire series?
Yeah, I think just continue to have an imprint on the game with the guys that we bring in that situation, and a lot of that is, putting me and Kaysen and then Wiggs out there, sometimes Isaiah Joe, and then depending on, what big is out there with us, and then throw Dub in. We just have good symmetry, good synergy, good chemistry to be able to play off each other, speed other guys up, and get out in transition. I think that's where we thrive. And like I said earlier, if we don't foul them and we rebound the ball, we have more chances to do that.
Alex, I was wondering about the strategy. You guys were so effective against Joker early. Seemed like I think he committed 7 turnovers. Mm-hmm. You guys really had it going on him. And then late, he was getting to the hoop really, really easy. Was it a lot of the changes from their end or something that you guys did differently, or both?
Yeah, we probably just gave him a little too much freedom on a couple plays. Like the one I got switched on, and he just, he outweighs me by 100 pounds maybe. Like, he just walked me to 10 feet and shot a hook shot. Like, we got to be better in situations like that. Like, he's the best player on their team. He's multiple-time MVP. Like, we got to understand the situation and look to kind of scramble and get out of those. But I think he just he knows that he has to be more of a scorer, I think, and for us it's about making that hard for him, and I think just too many times we didn't make it hard for him in the second half.
Anybody else? We got two more, Joel and then Barry.
AC Darnell asked you something similarly, and I know you mentioned that you had fun playing tonight. I'm not in the locker room, but it sounded from outside that things were lighthearted in there after the game. Shai's comments came off as lighthearted. What sort of, if you describe it that way, what's sort of the headspace and what gives you guys the confidence to?
No, it was pretty dim the first couple of minutes when we had to sit there and take it in that we lost game one, and when we played really well for 45 minutes of it. Yeah, I don't want to come off as lighthearted. I don't want to come off as not caring. There's a deep-rooted care factor in this team, and guys want to win, and we want to play deep in the playoffs and win the last game. Like, that's why we're here. We're here to compete and to do that. That being said, it's a team to first team to 4 games, and they have 1 and we have 0. So from there, we got to move forward, regroup, see what we can do better, and go get the one on Wednesday.
Yeah, Alex, I asked Shai and Jalen about this. He gets the breakaway dunk on the inbounds play with 10 seconds left. Put you up 3. Jokic is out of the game because they don't want him to foul. They think they can put him back. They think they're going to foul. They can put him back in. They're out of timeouts. They can't put him back in. Mm-hmm. Mark's strategy, your team strategy all year, foul in that situation. How difficult is it to switch gears if you wanted to not foul all of a sudden since Jokic is not in the game?
Yeah, that'd probably be a hard thing to audible, just because we had great communication in the timeout about what we want to do, and everybody was on the same page and pretty clear about it. I think the only thing that we could change, I could probably just run some more time off the clock, and I probably need to do a better job of that. That's probably what I'll beat myself up about the most with that last scenario. But like I said, you don't want to be in that position. You do stuff well enough the minutes leading up to that, and you don't have to worry about the last 10 seconds. And a lot of focus goes into that strategy to foul up 3 and how we executed it and all that. But again, the game wasn't won and lost in the last 15 seconds. We had plenty of opportunities before that to win the game.
Thank you, Alex. Thanks, Alex.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
You guys wanted to finish. What'd you feel in terms of just Denver's experience there late, and you guys, trying to make the plays down the stretch?
Yeah, credit them. I thought they out-executed us down the stretch. I liked a lot of what we did most of the night to have control of the game. Obviously didn't close it tonight, but I thought we did a lot of good things. I thought we got a lot of feedback in terms of our plan. Didn't think our execution was as clean as it can be, but we'll learn from it. It's a series.
Mark, obviously I know generally you try to foul up 3, but is there any part of you that wishes that last sequence went differently, and especially the possession where Jokic is still waiting to check in?
I don't know exactly what possession you're talking about on that one, but yeah, I mean, that's usually our deal, is to foul up 3 and to play that game. I thought we executed the fouls pretty well, got the ball in bounds pretty well. It didn't go our way tonight, but it's worked out well for us in the past. We'll continue to look at it, maybe learn from it, but I didn't think that's why we lost the game.
And with Jokic, it felt like I think he had at least 8 free throws in that fourth quarter. It felt like he's on the fence with the 5th foul, and there are some sequences that maybe swing that game. Like, how difficult is that when you're trying to shift center out the game, Chet to Hart and try to manage that?
I mean, I thought a lot of the free throws that hurt us in the fourth were like backcourt fouls that were, just sloppy execution on our part that we can learn from and clean up. We had them in the bonus early in the first. They were in the bonus early in the fourth. That hurt us. So again, there's stuff we can learn from, but it wasn't our cleanest game. It was kind of a coin flip type of game. We allowed them to get back in it and make it a possession game. Gordon made a shot, credit him, and we just got to be better.
A couple of things. One, they came back. They got some quick fouls. They didn't have to use the clock. And then two, after SGA hits his free throws, you fouled immediately instead of letting them maybe use some time to get it past half court to use up some time. And I guess why foul as soon as they inbound the ball on the other end of the court?
Yeah, so a couple things on that. I did think the backcourt fouls hurt us. And again, we can learn from that. The fouling up three, that's on me. I think given the foul and getting the foul executed is critical. So if there's something to be learned from that, it's probably giving it too early on my part. But that's not on the players. They're executing what I'm telling them to do.
Mark, you said, you mentioned a few things about how you guys ended up losing this, but you said that the fouling situation down the stretch wasn't why you lost. What would you boil it down to, why you lost this one?
I mean, just overall execution on both ends of the floor. I thought defensive execution, we had a lot of possessions that we can clean up and learn from. The rebounding, we can definitely learn from. They had a lot of offensive rebounds tonight, gave them a lot of second life. And then our execution down the stretch offensively. So, it's lousy that we lost game one. We'd rather be up 1-0 and with stuff to clean up, but that's not how this works. So now we got to go get to work and execute better next game.
What's the challenge of, a game like this where you have a pretty comfortable lead, see it, lost away, losing home court advantage? I mean, just those sorts of things on the mental side of things. What's the challenge of coming back from that?
It's the playoffs. We have to embrace it. We have to embrace the struggle of the playoffs. We have to embrace the adversity of the playoffs. The playoffs are a mountain to climb. So it's not going to be easy for anybody. We kind of coasted through the first round. It was challenging in the games, but we had control of the series the whole time. But no one just walks their way through a series at this point in the season. So credit Denver. They were the better team tonight. We can learn from it. We need to execute better, but it's a series first of four.
Joker obviously had another monster night. What did you think of the execution of the defensive game plan against him? And what's your feeling come out of this about your team's ability to try to contain a guy who's obviously maybe the best player in the league?
Yeah, I mean, 42 is loud, obviously. 10 of those were free throws. He didn't assist the ball tonight the way that he does on average. So, the free throws were problematic, especially the bonus ones, like the one on the cut, the one in the backcourt. Those are tough plays where he's walking the line, getting points on those. But there were plays that we executed well. There were plays that we didn't. I thought in the first half we did a really good job defensively. We held them to 50 points or around there. But, we obviously need to be better. We don't want to give them 42 points.
And you're up 14 with a little bit over 4 left. I mean, the way things went, obviously, before you got to the final game, to the fouls game, rather, from 14 to where it became a possession game, what did you think went wrong for you guys?
I mean, anytime you give up a lead like that, it's both ends of the floor. So it's offensive execution. I can do a better job of getting us organized and getting us quality looks. And then down the other end, to Myron's point, I thought some of the fouls that put him on the line without using clock obviously helped him get back into it. So it was both ends. It was everybody. We're all in it together. We need to execute better. I need to coach better. They need to execute the plan better. And we just need to be a better team in game 2.
Yeah, Mark, I think Jokic got his 5th foul on the flagrant with 6.5 minutes left. After that, did you change your offense at all, trying to go at him more, trying to get a 6th foul, and did that lead to any offensive stagnation?
We certainly try to go at them at times, but, you can get teams into like a defensive rhythm if you're like repeatedly at them every single possession. So we try to mix the bag a little bit on that, but it was on our mind for sure. I mean, we're aware of the foul situation, but like I said, we could have been better down the stretch.
The play we're talking about, Jokic not in the game, that came after Shai's dunk. They clearly thought they were going to foul, get him right back in. Shai gets free for the dunk. How tough is it to switch a strategy with no stoppage of play, where you got the dunk, they got no timeouts, they got to just play?
That's what's tough. It's tough to switch the strategy. We've got the guys locked in on fouling up 3 as a philosophy. They executed it. Like I said, anything with the foul up 3 stuff in terms of timing, that's on me. I mean, I'll take full responsibility for that. But philosophically, that's also what we do.
Did you see anything tonight that would indicate that the long layoff may have affected anything about the outcome of the game?
I don't know. It's hard to say. At the end of the day, I thought, maybe if we started the game like Rusty, we were 0 for 10 from 3 to start the game, and then we were 7 for 14 after that. So, I thought we found our groove there. And I thought our stuff, really was down the stretch, So I think it was more of an execution thing. It's hard to siphon out, what exactly to attribute that to. But the reality is they out-executed us tonight. It's a 7-game series. We need to be the better team in game 2.
First half, Jokic seemed like he was operating a lot inside. You guys were very active in the passing lanes, and second half it looked like he was more so outside and then trying to back you guys down. What did that do for you guys' defense to throw you guys off?
Yeah, I thought, like I said, in the first half, I thought we did a good job on him and their team. We had, we got stops. We were disruptive. I thought we had them a little bit out of rhythm. We were physical. In the second half, they scored, over 35 in both quarters. So, I thought that was a defensive issue in the second half. Obviously, the free throws had something to do with that. But, again, we did a lot of good things. Both ends of the floor. It's never as bad as you think it is when you lose by 2. But now we got to get to work and improve our execution. We have to get better as the series goes.
Do you feel like that was more of a point of attack thing for you guys, or physicality?
With the defense, a little bit of everything. Execution of schemes. The rebounding certainly hurt us in the second half. The free throws hurt us in the second half. It was a mixed bag. We just we need to be a little bit better. We don't have to be perfect, but we have to certainly be better.
This obviously wasn't the outcome that you were looking for, but can you talk about the positive that Caruso brought?
Yeah, he was awesome. He's a gamer. I thought he gave us a great lift in the first half, obviously. And the shot making, he was the one that kind of got the ball rolling down the hill for us there. Did a great job out of halftime. I thought we got control of it there, deciding to start him. And then, he's just so engaged in the game. He knows the plan. He can guard a lot of different guys. He executes. I thought he played great on offense tonight. He played a great game.
Mark, is the stagnation on offense just really hard to turn around once you start having trouble, and really the low percentage shots that J-Dub got off and a couple that Shai got? Yeah,
like the dead ball offense, some of that's coaching. I got to get us in advantageous positions in those situations. And then some of it's just like when we're not getting stops. The game's all connected. So when we're not getting stops, we're taking the ball out of the basket, or they're shooting free throws. We're coming up against a dead floor every time down the stretch of a game. So a few more stops help us there. We'll evaluate every possession, try to get better. Like I said, it was an execution game down the stretch, and that executed us.
Mark, obviously, Chet was very involved in that last sequence. He misses the 2 free throws, and then he tries to defend Gordon on the other end. He hits the game-winning 3. What's sort of your conversation with him after the game and after that sequence?
I'm not going to smother him right now. I think generally we talk going into the playoffs about the gaps between the games and the ups and downs of a series and the challenges that teams need to overcome to accomplish what they want to accomplish. So we do that proactively for this situation. We know it's not going to be easy. We know the playoffs are challenging. They take teams to the limit. We're no exception to that. So hopefully the guys apply that framework to when they lay on the pillow tonight, and then we'll come back tomorrow and go through the same process that we would go if we won the game by 2.
Anybody else?